Tarte, we need to talk. Hey guys, welcome back. Be forewarned, I'm a little punchy. If you follow me on Instagram, you will realize that I became irrationally angry at Tarte when I saw their newest release. Their, what is it called? Love, Trust, and Fairy Dust release that they just announced today. I'll save you the anticipation. It's nothing new. It's yet another warm neutral palette. Shocking. I know. I'm just going to scooch over for a minute and I'll stick a picture up here of what the palette looks like. I swear to God, all they do is they write up the shade names of all their existing palettes, put them into a hat, jumble them up, and pull 10 out, and there's their new palette. Now, and then, okay, so let's take a look at the swatches as well. I have to remember to move over. Okay, so I'm looking at the image on the far right, the lightest skin tone, because that's me. Flower Crown doesn't show up. Gossamer barely shows up. Twinkle barely shows up. Whimsical and Giggle and Magic, at least from the lighting that I have on my phone going on right now, they all look close enough that once blended out, I suspect they all look the same on the eyelid. Mystical looks pretty. Flitter could probably be pretty as well, but Wish and Wonder look the same to me, at least in terms of this picture. There might be a slight tonal difference, but I can't see it from what I'm looking at. So this is a $59 palette where really there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shades in it. Tarte, you can do better. You can, this entire collection just makes me angry. Here's a picture of the Vault. So this is $140 Canadian. You're getting 5 brushes, which they look like I would buy them for a set for $6.99 at Claire's Accessories for my daughter. I am sorry, but they do. I want more. I want more. I'm sorry, Tarte. I do. You can do sophisticated. You really can. Here's evidence. This packaging, fucking stunning. This is the foil finger paints. I'll put my video up here so you can take a look at the review of this one. But that's beautiful. This is cutesy and I don't appreciate it. Oh, and then there's this, which is a magnetic palette, like an empty magnetic palette, in a stupid shape. You're gonna have empty space in this, and it makes me angry. It makes me angry. So let's take the pictures away. Oh, you know what? I spoke too soon. Let's put some of these pictures back up because I want to touch on some of these palettes. So this is the Love, Trust, and Fairy Dust palette. Again, just burn those images into your mind of the colors. And then let's look over to Leave Your Mark. This is the Leave Your Mark eyeshadow palette. This retailed for $30. I believe it's still on the website. So $30 US for 7 shadows and a highlight, I guess. Dream Big eyeshadow palette. Again, $30. It's a little bit deeper in tone, so I will give them that. But it's variations on a theme. Switching over, now we have the Tartelette Flirt eyeshadow palette for $23 US. Are you beginning to see the trend here? And then there are all 3 of the Tartelette palettes there. These are, I think they're in the 40 to 50 Canadian range. I don't have the price in front of me. But again, yes, one of them is cool toned, so Tarte can do cool tones. But if you have one, you probably don't need the others. Then there is there's the Tarteist Pro. So they did try, but again, like they're staying within these safe confines. I just really want to see Tarte push the envelope. Like I really want to see it. They have like this pinkish tone in there, and then they have that duochrome sort of metallic shade. So they've dipped their toe in the pool, but overall this is a very safe palette. Okay, we're gonna round out these pictures. I've got 2 more left. One is the Aspen Ovard collection. I did speak about this briefly in in my recent anti-haul video. It is so boring, so boring. This is so boring. I don't know Aspen Ovard, like I don't know how much say she had in the creative process of this. I have no idea, but the end result is Tarte put their name on this, Tarte created this, Tarte, you know, put it out there, and it's boring AF. Okay, then there's the mermaid palette. So again, I'm gonna link my review up at the top here. Here are the colors swatched. And I ultimately returned mine, and really it was Tartelette in Bloom with some lackluster mermaid-ish type shades. But then look at this picture. Now this obviously was done by somebody else, so the credit is on there. It's from CC Meadows, but I got this image on the Tarte Cosmetics Instagram page. So they haven't, in their description, pointed out the fact that these colors have been highly filtered or manipulated in some way. And that's no fault of CC Meadows. Like I'm not saying that. But where I do have an issue with it is Tarte not pointing that out, because if you hadn't seen the swatch post, or if you hadn't seen this in store and you just saw this picture, you would be tempted to think that Tarte had finally done it, that there's a bright pink, a like bright sort of aqua blue there, a deep cobalt blue, and this beautiful purple that looks like it has a bit of a blue shift to it. But then flip back to what it actually looks like, and you'd be sorely disappointed. So I think that that is unacceptable for them to put that on their Instagram page and not draw attention to the fact that that is not what the shades actually look like, because I think that's very misleading. Okay, so last picture here is a post from the Tarte Cosmetics Instagram page, and it says, "Hey Tartelets, we've been reading all of your comments and want you to know we hear you. Exciting and colorful things are in the works." And they have 4 swatches. So they have a purple, they have what looks to be a beautiful green, like I'm all about that green life, and then these 2 sort of, I'm going to call them blah, just from this image. They could turn out to be beautiful, and I could eat my words, but just from this picture, they both look, in the swatch, they both look green-based, and they both look snoozy. The little pans on the left of the image make them look very different than what's on the arm. So who knows? Stay tuned, we'll see. Okay. I never intended to film this video, but I keep getting progressively more and more disappointed and more PO'd at companies that are doing this same kind of nonsense. Okay, first of all, get creative. Go for it. If you read through the comments, especially on Tarte, especially that Icy Betch little April Fool's joke that they had, as a reminder, there's the image of it. People went nuts about this palette. There is a market for those kind of shades. There is a market for bold, bright colors. We are oversaturated with warm neutral palettes. We don't need any more. If you're going to do one, make it something fundamentally different. I don't know what that is. I'm not a product developer, so I don't need to. But as a consumer, I am tired of seeing the exact same things, just in different boxes. Second thing that is driving me crazy is this focus on cutesy crap. There is a difference between nostalgia and whimsy and cutesy. So I don't have any of the ColourPop My Little Pony packaging, but that is nostalgic. It takes you back to the OG My Little Pony days. I get that. That's not, to me, overly cutesy. That is representing what it is inspired by, so I get that. Then there's whimsical. So this is from the brand Winky Lux. This is their Smitten palette. It's just a really small palette with 6 shades in it. But this to me is whimsical. It's not overly cutesy. It's got this nice floral design, but it still looks sophisticated in a way and grown up. Now, all hope is not completely lost for Tarte, at least in my opinion, because they can do it with the packaging. Like I said, they're foil paints. This packaging is beautiful. And it's also really unique, very different. You don't see it, I don't know, I've never seen another palette with all these like stones and crystals on it. It's beautiful. If you haven't seen the inside, this is what it looks like in there. They kind of look like little boobies, but we get past that because the shadows themselves are beautiful. And then what I think is probably Tarte's best product, in my opinion, are their chrome paint pots. So this is what I'm wearing over the inner portion of my lids today, that bright shiny gold. And it's just more like a pigment, really, like a sort of, I don't know how to describe it, really, I really don't. It's a shadow, but you get it. And the best way to do it is just with your finger. But the packaging is sleek, the nice gold lid, just Tarte on it, and there it is. So all hope is not lost, but please, for the love of God, stop it. Just stop it with the weird ass packaging and the cutesy bullshit. Too Faced is guilty of this as well. I would have expected that the colors inside this palette would be the same light colored pastels, but the fact that there are actually wearable shades in there and quite the amount of contrast between them, I'll forgive the packaging on this one. Okay, so I said I'm not a product developer. I am not. I do not work in the makeup industry. I just really enjoy makeup. However, I created a little palette today. What I think the mermaid palette should have been. The make a splash and swim with the fishes? No. And I did it for a picture, not for a video, so hence it's all effed up. All right. You know what? We're just gonna put a picture in. That's just gonna be easier. So let's just put a picture in here. Let's start left to right. I'll tell you what they are. Obviously, these did not all come from one palette, but I'm just gonna, for the sake of the video, tell you what I used. Okay, so first up, starting on the left, is Lumi from Sugar Pill. This is a loose pigment, so if it was going to be in a palette, it would have to be pressed, but it's beautiful. This can be used on its own. It can be layered on top of other colors, and it's really going to pick up the shade that's underneath it and really transform it. So if you put it over a green, it's going to pull more green. Pull it over blue, it's going to pull more blue. You get where I'm going with this. So this is just a nice little multitasking kind of shadow that still happens to look beautiful on its own. Okay, next up is a shade from the Saharan 2 palette. It is a shade that I cannot pronounce. Here it is here. Chefchuan? I don't know how to say it. I'm probably not even remotely close. But there it is there. Next up is a shadow from Strobe Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Azura. It's so beautiful. These are sort of like pressed pigments, so they are quite delicate in the pan, but my God, do they ever pack a punch, and they are beautiful. Okay, the next shade is Coconut from ColourPop. The dark green is Epic from Makeup Geek, and it's one of their foiled shadows. And then we go back to Juvia's Place, this time in the Masquerade palette, and go into this shade here, and this one is Mally. The more almost apple green, if you will, is from the Kat Von D Divine palette, and it's this shade right here called Pink Flamingos. Then I took a shade from the Take Me Back to Brazil palette from BH Cosmetics, and I just stuck my thumb right in the black, son of a bitch, and it's this shadow right here. The lighter of the two teal colors is from the Natasha Denona palette number 7, and it's this shade right here, which is Powder Blue. That's not Powder Blue. I don't understand that name, but whatever. The deeper teal shade is again from Makeup Geek, and this is Shark Bait. The deep green is another loose pigment, and this one is from Star Crushed Minerals in the shade Stheno, or Stheno, or something else entirely. I don't know. The really deep navy blue shade is from the Morphe Dare to Create monstrosity. And it is this shade right here, which is called Indigo. And then I just put two metallic shades up here, either to layer on top or to make as the center star of the show kind of deal, whatever you want to do with it, but just for versatility's sake. And they both came from the Too Faced Chocolate Gold palette. So the gold is gold dipped right over here, and then the true silver is drippin' diamonds right here. So that is what I would have loved to seen as a mermaid themed palette instead of the warm neutral with 2 or 3 sort of attempts at a mermaid kind of look that Tarte provided to us. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up. Please sound off in the comments below. What are your thoughts on the new release from Tarte? What are your thoughts on new releases generally? Is there anything coming up that you're really excited about? Are you also fatigued with the warm neutral trend? Do you think it's time to move on? If so, what would you like to see brands do? I'd love to hear from you. So please leave me a comment down below. Tarte, not that I think you're ever going to watch this, but if you do, I have a brain that you are most welcome to pick. I would be happy to collaborate with you and infuse your brand with some color, which I know the market would be very happy for and consumers would be more than pleased to throw their money at you for. So hit me up. In my wildest dreams, brand collaboration, my God. Check yourself, Kara, check yourself. You're a baby channel. I am like a little wee tiny guppy egg floating in the gigantic sea of beauty gurus. I do not consider myself a guru. I am a beauty guppy. I am the plankton that is just swept up with the tide. That's okay. That's okay. We all have to start somewhere, right? So plankton, right here. All right, this is getting weird, so I am going to end this now, and I am just going to say goodbye. I hope you have a great day, evening, night, whatever, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now. That was really aggressive. Bye for now. I don't know, time has lost all meaning. Now that I'm no longer in school, and I haven't been for a long time, but like in school, I can hear a song and be like, oh, that was grade 7, or that was first year university, or whatever. And now I'm like, I don't know, that could have been last week or 13 years ago. Just a chat. Your biggest fan. This is Stan. I promise not to do that again,